Yo, what is up, guys? This is Insidious Purple. I am back after a long hiatus for another video, and this is going to be my overview of Elden Ring. Up here is the boss. I beat the boss. The last three bosses were absolutely ridiculous. It's they're crazy, man. They're absolutely crazy. But overall, I felt that the experience was a bit too long. Overall, you know, the last three bosses, the two phases was a bit much. Now, looking at the map, it's a huge map. It's a lot more than what I expected. So, shout out to FromSoft and R.R. Martin with this enormous map. Lots to see, lots to do, and I understand that's the area that I didn't do with the Melina boss, and I'm probably not gonna do it. But overall, I felt the experience overstayed its welcome. Uh, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do this part over here. It's not gonna happen. But overall, I just wanted to get into what I think about the game in in more detail now. What I thought about the game was the gameplay was fun for a bit, but I felt like certain builds just didn't work in the game overall. You had to use certain overpowered weapons, especially when it came to these last three bosses. They are very tough, they're very fast, and they're very aggressive. And I don't think that just any build is going to work for it. Luckily, the build that I had was just borderline good enough, but you got to use like some of the most overpowered OP weapons in the game just to make it through the storyline, right? Lots, going through the different locations and everything, going through the map, it was a okay experience overall. As you can see right here, where I'm just looking at a few of the places. I like the fact that they have it so that you can teleport to Graces immediately. That was critical, rather than having to unlock that later. You can teleport even to this underground area right there. That made things a lot easier, especially with the travel. Uh, Man, overall, um, I just didn't feel like my build was good enough when it came down to the end. I saw jump attacks way early on, and I was like, wow, okay, that's what I'm gonna go for. The jump attacks look really OP, and it was really great for a lot of the beginning part of the game. It was awesome, but after a while, it just became not as good. Not as good, no. Jumping at enemies, it was really awkward. Sometimes you wouldn't jump far enough, and you would just miss the jump attack. But it was great for like stunning enemies. Let me show you this. So I have the Flamberg and the other bleed great sword, and I was using those two in order to have a great sword dual wield bleed, the sword of Milos. It worked pretty well. See, jump attack. But I just had a whole bunch of issues coming at the end of the game, though. I think with foresight, I would have used I would have just looked up an overpower build and just used that. Maybe the River of Blood would have probably been just a better choice than these two great swords. And that's a shame that a lot of the weapons that they put in the game and a lot of the builds that they put in the game just aren't viable overall. And I haven't did too much PvP, but everybody's pretty much using the standard cookie cutter overpowered stuff. It's crazy. I mean, a little bit in the video, I'll go to another area and start fighting some enemies. And it'll just really show you how overpowered and how lacking this build is, and how crazy the movement of the enemies are. The enemies move way far out of your range. Bosses teleport to the other side of the map. You're just running, trying to chase them down and run them down. The jump attack can help a little bit, but it's not enough. it's very difficult to keep up with them. Um, I just discovered the mimic tier summon near the end of the game, right? And it is literally the best summon in the game. But it's incredible uh, how fast these a lot of these enemies move and attack. Like, look at this. He doesn't stun, and he just does this huge attack, and then he attacks and then falls back out of your attack range. And then he has like these crazy Wrath of God, huge attacks and everything. I just forgot to switch back to my potions. But as you can see right there, the Mimic tier, it's it's really an awesome summon. But when you go over, I'm gonna go over here, and there's just gonna be a whole bunch of these guys, and it's very difficult to manage all of that. Anyway, I just wanted to give my opinion on the game. Um, it was a good game overall, but it overstayed its welcome, and I got frustrated at the last few bosses teleporting, uh, late game enemies jumping way out of my attack range constantly, swinging, stunning me to all death. I can't do anything. It's just ridiculous, and the enemies just have ridiculous amounts of health, and it just becomes a battle of you being able to heal and outlast these enemies. It's just ridiculous. I'm not gonna get into the sword arts or anything like that. The weapon arts. It's it's basically all of them have a delay. Um, there's some that are better than others, but pretty much they all have a specific delay that, yeah, um, you have to. Your attacks are all delayed, and the enemy's attacks aren't. But fun game at the end of the day. This has been Insidious Purple, and let me know what you guys think of the Elden Ring game. If you've beaten it, if you haven't beaten it. I know there's spoilers here. Not really, but just some late game enemies right here. That's it. See you guys.